Hi everyone and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Ben.
So today we're in our TOEIC unit for this month. So we're talking about English that you'd use in kind of a workplace situation, an office, a job, and a lot of the subjects we write about are all related to jobs and stuff as well. Now today it's actually about leaving a job, but what are some jobs you've had over the years?
That's a good question. I remember I started working when I was really young.
Yeah?
So,
how young?
About 15, I think, 15 and a half. Yeah, I washed cars.
Right.
I worked with fast food.
Okay, which famous restaurant?
Oh, just McDonald's.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sold tennis rackets, sold shoes. So I did a lot of different odd jobs or selling jobs.
Yeah, I've worked in a store just on the tills. I've worked in a factory that makes beer, a brewery. I worked in one of those. I've worked in a doctor's surgery. I've worked for a drug company, a computer company, several English companies. Yes, many different kinds of jobs. And a lot of those, they're early jobs, kind of where you move around a lot. I think there's the one job I've had some jobs only about 4 months, right?
Yeah, people do have these short time frames of jobs where they feel maybe the job doesn't fit them that well, so maybe they might switch to a different job more to their liking.
Exactly, or you get them in summer or something like that.
Yeah, seasonal jobs too.
Right, So here we're looking at somebody who has a job but is wanting to move to a new job as she's trying to kind of find the right career for her. So let's read through the article and find out all the situation.
Reading.
Quitting your job. How to tell your boss.
Hi, Mr. Garrison. Can we have a chat?
Sure, Danielle. What's up?
Well, another company has offered me a job.
Oh, does this mean you're going to quit?
Yes, sadly, I will leave here next month.
We're going to miss you. What kind of job did you get?
I'm going to be the manager for the sales department at a furniture company.
Oh, this is a great opportunity for you to further your career.
I know. I couldn't turn this job down. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. You're just a clerk here. You need to think about your career.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave in 1 month. Until then, I'll continue to do my best work.
I would like you to train your replacement. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. I'm happy to assist with training before I leave.
Just make sure you write a letter to HR to let them know that you're leaving.
Of course. I'll do that soon.
Okay, so this article is a dialogue article. It's a conversation between someone called Danielle and her boss. And Danielle starts by saying, "Hi, Mr. Garrison. Can we have a chat?" So maybe she's just, walked into his office or over to his desk if they have what we call an open plan office where nobody has a room but everybody kind of sits in the same big area. And she's asked to have a chat. Now, when I've done this, it's always a private chat when you kind of talk to somebody about leaving a job, right?
Yeah, it seems really important when you bring up the "can I have a chat?" So
so maybe they will go to a separate room if they're out in the open. So they're going to have a chat, and often when someone says that, you kind of know it's serious, right?
Yes, exactly. That's always something. It's a one-on-one kind of face-to-face type chat where you don't really speak it in public, but more in a private setting. Yeah. So anyway, to the article, the boss says, "Sure, Danielle, what's up?"
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Exactly. So Danielle says, well, and this is a hard thing to say sometimes, well, another company has offered me a job.
Oh, that would be tough to tell the boss.
It is.
There.
You always feel like you want to say sorry, even though really you've got nothing to say sorry for. Everybody changes companies and moves jobs in their career. But you do feel like, oh, I'm sorry, boss, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna leave you without a worker. But anyway, so here Danielle has said another company has offered her a job. A company is an organization that's been formed for a particular purpose. Usually we talk about a company doing some kind of business. They buy things, they make things, they sell things. But there are other examples as well. We could talk about a theatre company, which would be a group of actors, or some other group that has a particular purpose and they're organized and they work together. Here's an example sentence with company. The smartphone company is going to release its latest model next month. So it's new smartphone.
Yeah, all right. So let's see what the boss says. The boss says, oh, does this mean you're going to quit? So the boss can already tell what is on Danielle's mind there. Yeah. So that brings us to the word quit, which is a verb, which means to no longer do something. It can also mean to stop an action, such as he quit smoking or he quit biting his nails. He had to quit bad habits that we do on an everyday basis, or just quit a job. Yeah, something you don't want to do at the moment. So for an example sentence, we could use, I quit my job as it was too many hours.
Yeah, if you're having too many hours, too much work, you might have to say, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes you see in movies, people just yell like, that's it, I quit, and they walk out.
That is true.
Have you ever done that kind of quit?
I've seen videos of that, but I've never seen that in person. But that would definitely be a big scene to kind of be taken in.
I've never quit anything like that. I've left several jobs, but I've never said like, that's it, I'm not even coming in tomorrow, it's done. And of course, Danielle doesn't do this. She does it the proper way. She tells the boss what's happening. And I guess you always think the boss is going to say, no, you can't quit, or he's going to yell at me.
It's kind of, you always think, what's the boss going to say? Is this okay? Or it's kind of, what's the response going to be like?
But of course, the boss is always sort of, sure, I understand these things happen, and kind of moves on to talk about sort of what's next. Yeah. So we see in the article, he's asked Danielle, so she's quitting, and Danielle says, yes, sadly, I will leave here next month. Now that's good. She's not saying like, I won't be in tomorrow or next week. She's giving some time. There is a word for that. It's called a notice period. To give notice means to say you will leave at the end of the notice period. Most places it's 4 weeks.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks or something
2
like
to
that.
4. Yeah. Sometimes if you're a very, like a senior manager, we'll talk about that later, you might need to give 2 months maybe because you have they need to find your replacement.
Exactly.
Another thing we'll talk about later.
Because if you quit, then it's all of a sudden, oh no, what are we going to do? So it helps the company as well, trying to find someone else to take your position for your job.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so she said she will leave next month. What does the boss say?
That brings us to what the boss says, which he says, we're going to miss you. Now, what kind of job did you get?
Okay, so he kind of wants to know why.
Yeah, exactly. What's your reasoning?
But as we find out, he's going to end up being happy for her because Danielle says, I'm going to be the manager for the sales department at a furniture company. So Danielle is going to become a manager. A manager is a person who is in charge of a team, a department, a project, or something else like that. A manager is responsible for everything from getting the work done on time to managing the people in the team. Like in this sentence, a good manager has to know how to get the best out of their team members. So in this job, Danielle is going to manage the sales department. Now this means she will be in charge of other salespeople and make sure they're doing their jobs right. She will also help sell things at times and just lead the team. Now a sales manager could be responsible for one area, like sales manager for a country or an area of a country. She might be responsible for selling one kind of product, like just its furniture, so tables, something like that. Or she might just be in charge of just sales in general. It depends how big the company is. Now we also know it's a furniture company, which means things like tables, chairs, beds, and so on. So, for example, she might be in charge of tables.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So the boss says, oh, is this a great opportunity for you to further your career?
Yeah, he says, this is. In fact, he's like, great for you.
This is a good direction for you. So this brings us to further, which means to advance in something. Now we can go further in our studies or go further along an event like a race or a marathon. Now further means to make progress and keep advancing on what one is doing. For example, we can further our careers by continuing to work where we like our environment is, or we can make progress in what career we want to go to by furthering our education. Now, for an example sentence, we can say, I will further my studies by going to art school.
Yeah, so that means kind of you'll learn more, you'll get more experience.
Exactly.
Okay, so here we're talking about furthering your career or advancing your career. Now, the word career can mean all the jobs you do in your life, but we can also use it to mean any kind of job you get training for and then you do for most of your life, like a career as a doctor, something like that. Now, the word can be plural, so a person could have several different careers over the course of their life, or they could have a kind of a work career, maybe doing a job, but also a kind of more private career, maybe as a singer or some kind of artist. So this phrase together, further one's career, what it means is to move to better jobs with higher pay, more responsibilities, and more possibility to make decisions and change things. So it's kind of what a lot of people want to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just want to have more experience, so work more years at what you like to do and then get a higher pay and more responsibility on the job.
Exactly. Yeah. Not many people want to just stay at the bottom level of a company. They want to move up, earn more, do more.
Exactly.
Maybe get to travel, all that good stuff that comes with being higher.
Exactly. Keep working on the job. So that brings us back to the article where Danielle says, I know I couldn't turn this job down. I'm sorry. Yeah, which kind of means that she found a really good job and it's better than her current job. So she wants to further her career by keep on advancing to more better opportunities. Okay, so in the article, Danielle said, I couldn't turn this job down. Now, to turn something down means to reject something. It's more often used in a polite phrase and is more acceptable than saying no. Now, when we turn something down, it likely means we put thought into whatever we received, like an offer of some sort, but decided against it. Now, we often use this phrase for more formal invitations, such as a party or even a job interview request. So to turn something down means, I thought about it, but I think I'd like to do something else instead. Now, for an example sentence, we can say, Bill turned down the position of manager as he could not put that many hours into his work.
So she said, yeah, this is a really good career move for me. This is going to help me a lot. This is what I want to do. So that's why I couldn't turn it down. I couldn't say no to their offer. And the boss says, don't worry about it. He completely understands. Maybe he became a boss by leaving his old company in the same way. He also points out something about Danielle's current position at this job. He says, you're just a clerk here. So a clerk, and sometimes in England we might say clerk in this case, it's pronounced both ways occasionally. A clerk is someone who keeps records and accounts, does general office work, something like that, paperwork, reports, filing, all of those sorts of office jobs. We can also use the word clerk to mean someone who works at like a supermarket, a store, a 7-Eleven, or something like that, and tells customers about products, takes their money at the till, does all of that kind of thing. But here we mean office worker, general office worker. And here's an example sentence for that. This office is full of clerks working busily away.
Yes, in Taiwan I see the clerks is a very stressful job. There's so many customers in line, so they keep on having to make the exchanges of the money and products.
In 7-Eleven, yeah, those clerks work hard.
That is definitely very time consuming, very stressful and hard, yeah. So anyway, the boss says you need to think about your career. So that's good. The boss is encouraging Danielle and saying, oh, well, we have better options. So that's good, in the right track to further your own career there.
Exactly. No boss is really going to complain if you're saying, you know, I'm not quitting because I don't like this place or it's too hard. I'm just kind of going on to something better. Yeah. And if Danielle is a good worker, the boss knows that maybe one day this will happen.
Exactly. And typically when people move on to the next job, maybe the new employer will call the past employer and say, oh, how was Danielle? How was she a good worker? Mm-hmm. So that means the boss can support Danielle and say, yeah, Danielle was really good here.
Yep, and that's why you want to have a good relationship with your boss and leave in the right way, like Danielle's doing here. Okay, we go back to the article and Danielle says, thank you for understanding. She's saying, thank you, you know what I want, why I'm leaving, so we're all good. She then repeats what she'd said, I will leave in 1 month. So just to kind of make sure that, yep, we're agreeing it's a month, you don't want me to stay for longer or anything like that. And then she adds, until then, I'll continue to do my best work.
Oh, that's important. She won't just slack and just breeze through my time here. She'll continue putting in the effort, which is a good attitude to have at work like that.
Exactly. Now, it does maybe in the last week, it kind of gets a little difficult because you might be saying, sorry, I can't do this new work because I won't have time, I won't be here next week. You also want to be spending time with the co-workers that you like.
Yeah, exactly.
So the last weeks, it's harder to do that. But otherwise, yes, you should continue to work just as hard before you quit as you did after. And again, that's all about keeping a good relationship with the boss and for him to then tell the future companies and stuff like that, yep, I'd recommend her. She's got a good attitude.
Exactly. Good work attitude. Yeah. So the boss says, I would like you to train your replacement. I hope you don't mind. So yeah, just encouraging Danielle to, take the time to help out the new person that's going to take her spot. Now, according to the article, the boss wants Danielle to train her replacement. Now, a replacement is someone who will replace what you do. Now, oftentimes when we leave either a job or position of any kind, we will have a replacement to continuing what we did. Now, this can be used in sports too, as two people can play the same position, but only one is in the game at a time. Thus, that person is the replacement. So a replacement is someone who can handle the same things as you when you are not there. So for an example sentence, we can say, after Bill left the soccer game with an injury, his replacement performed quite well.
So yeah, that's the replacement. It's what's going to happen is, okay, they go, all right, this person's leaving, we advertise for a new position, someone interviews, and when that person joins, hopefully Danielle can train them. That's pretty typical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always typical to train your replacement. Yeah, make sure they know what you did so you're on the same page, which means that you both know, how to make your work go well.
Exactly. Now, sometimes it doesn't always happen because if Danielle said, I'm leaving in 1 month, if you can't hire the next person before she leaves, there's not much you can do. But at least Danielle can train maybe the person who maybe is in the job already and might switch positions. Then there's a bit more time, or train someone to just kind of cover for her in that if there's a gap between the replacement arriving, something like that. It can work out in different ways. But Danielle says, no, I don't mind at all. She adds, I'm happy to assist with training before I leave. The word assist just means to help with something. So Danielle says, sure, I will help. I'll show them what to do, where things are, how we do this job, and so on. But she sort of understands by saying assist, she knows the boss will also have to do some training.
Yeah, exactly. So the boss says, just make sure you write a letter to HR to let them know that you're leaving. Yeah, so just let the company know that, well, you're going away. So everyone knows your circumstance. Now that brings us to HR. Now this Department of Work is used to help find people to fill certain types of jobs. Now they are in charge of interviewing many people for a particular job. Now people who work at HR sometimes can note the strengths and weaknesses of people so people know that this person's a good spot for a different position at your work.
Yeah, HR stands for Human Resources, right? So it's kind of anything that involves more about the people who work in a company.
Exactly.
So HR, they do a lot of other things, right? If there's maybe a bit of a problem between two people in the office, HR will help out. If there's a complaint like, oh, my manager's not treating me well, they would sort that out. They're the people who will be kind of doing all the paperwork if someone joins or leaves, those kinds of things.
Exactly. They're good with people. They know people and how people, talk to other people and how they mesh with one another.
So an example sentence could be, the HR department helped find the business a new manager. Now what Danielle needs to do is tell HR and basically say, I'm letting you know that I'm leaving. That sort of makes it official.
Yes.
Because as well as telling your boss, you sort of have to do it in writing as well, just to make sure. And here we've got the phrasal verb, let somebody know something. To let someone know something is to give that person information, to tell them about a fact or facts that are important. Here's an example. My train is delayed and I don't know what time I'll arrive. I'll let you know as soon as I find out.
Yeah, so back to the article, Danielle says, of course, I'll do that soon. So that's good, a good attitude to let her boss and company know.
Yep, she's probably going to do that the same day. You normally talk to the person, you agree a few things, and then you kind of make it official with an email or a letter.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to the end of the article. So now let's go to today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So today's question is, have you ever quit a job? Obviously, some of you guys are students, you may never have had jobs, so we've got a second question. Or have you had to tell someone important that you couldn't do something, and how did it go? Yeah. Well, we've both quit jobs. Yeah. What was the last job you quit?
Yeah, the last job, well, I remember good circumstance was when I was in school, like many of you students, yeah. And I played tennis. I was a big tennis player.
Okay.
But I had to work at a tennis company too, so I sold tennis rackets. But the job had me working about 5 hours a day.
Wow,
so I had to mix, I had to do homework and then go to tennis practice, and my tennis skills and my grades at school kind of fell because I worked a little too much. So it's good balance, work balance. Find something where you can have a good balance of your work and schools.
So how did you quit?
I just told them that it was too time pressured for me, so I had to let them know I had to focus on my tennis season, which was my last year in high school, and so I can get my grades up as well. And they understood. The boss is very understanding, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, I had to quit a job earlier this year. I left this company for a bit and I came back, mostly for family reasons. It was difficult having to tell my boss that I was going to quit, because I'd only worked for that other company for about 10 months. So he said that he was a little disappointed, but based on the family reasons, he understood. So it was difficult to do, and I kind of felt a little nervous about doing it, but in the end, it all worked out okay. And of course, I did it the right way. I spoke to him first, and then I made sure to give a full month and all of the things like that. Okay, so that is the end of today's article, which is the discussion, as we've said, the first part, speaking to your boss. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the more formal letter that we mentioned Danielle has to write. We'll see you tomorrow for that. Bye for now. Quitting your job. How to tell your boss.
Hi, Mr. Garrison. Can we have a chat?
Sure, Danielle. What's up?
Well, another company has offered me a job.
Oh, does this mean you're going to quit?
Yes, sadly, I will leave here next month.
We're going to miss you. What kind of job did you get?
I'm going to be the manager for the sales department at a furniture company.
Oh, this is a great opportunity for you to further your career.
I know. I couldn't turn this job down. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. You're just a clerk here. You need to think about your career.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave in 1 month. Until then, I'll continue to do my best work.
I would like you to train your replacement. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. I'm happy to assist with training before I leave.
Just make sure you write a letter to HR to let them know that you're leaving.
Of course. I'll do that soon.
Vocabulary Review.
Company. Hallie has been working in this company's sales department for 3 years now. Quit. Evan quit his job at the factory after he got in a big fight with his boss. Manager. Tammy is the manager of this business's marketing department and is in charge of a small team. Further. After college, Ricky furthered his education by taking language classes after work. Turn somebody or something down. William's dad said he would drive him to the airport, but he turned down the offer. Clerk. The boss hired a new clerk to sort his paper and do his typing. Let somebody know something. Dan wasn't going to be home until after 10 p.m., so he let his wife know.
字汇小补帖
Career.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net